Dead by Daylight has just dropped the worst update of all time, and they've officially come out and acknowledged this is our punishment for buffing Pig. The clown went from a killer that no one wanted to play against because he was annoying, to a slightly better killer that nobody wants to play against because he's still annoying. The Fog Vial and Conviction are both completely busted, and I can say on the record, I told you so. All that and more, but now it's time to stay in the loop. So do you guys remember like a couple, what was it? It was probably like 6 months ago when Behavior announced they were going to be laying off some of their staff. Yeah, I think we're starting to feel the impacts of that. Look, some people think I just complain 24/7, which is wrong. Overall, I'd say I have a pretty positive outlook on Dead by Daylight, but this bullshit, there's not a single person that can defend this. Like, Dead by Daylight made a Twitter thread of all the bugs in the game right now. So they talk about kill switching, the Gideon meat plant, because it's making people's games crash. Obviously, the main bug of killers not being able to get into chases. There's an issue with chase music as well. People not being able to create a party, which has honestly been a bug forever. I always have issues creating a party. Killers and survivors getting slowed down going up the right side of a staircase. I didn't know that existed. There's an issue with Michonne's sound effects being louder than intended. The hook spawns on Forgotten Ruins are wrong. They had to boost the likelihood of getting the new map because no one was getting that map. Honestly, map is a really strong word to even use. I would probably use that tile. Like it's basically nothing for a map. And on top of that, there's like 400 comments of things that they didn't list that are issues in the game. Like the biggest one is the chase bug, so you can't get into a chase as a killer. And that's a big deal because you can't get bloodlust. Windows don't get blocked after 3 vaults, so you can turn like any main building into like an infinite loop. Just an absolute nightmare for killers. And I didn't know this, but this was actually a bug when they first came out with the void crystals. So they've had plenty of time to try to address this. And I know a lot of content creators have talked about this already, but it just seems lazy that this was an issue. But yeah, they decided, okay, we're still gonna go live with this, knowing it was an issue like a year ago when we had the void crystals. One crazy thing about this bug is Pig out of nowhere has become like an S tier killer. So not only did she get buffed, but because of the chase bug, people's head traps are ticking down while they're in chase, making it almost impossible to take off, and basically she can guarantee a head pop. And there's some people on Twitter like, do not do this, you'll get banned for doing this. And look, I do not promote playing as Pig and abusing this. I would say we gotta try to play as normal as possible. Like if you're a survivor, don't vault a window more than 3 times. You know, maybe just leave Pig alone for the time being. But it's like, okay, you're gonna get banned for playing Pig. There's no, the same way that someone's not gonna get banned for vaulting a window the 4th time. Like this is Behavior's fault. And again, don't do this. Don't go on Pig and just make people's lives miserable. But like, I don't know. Banned? I don't know. Don't try it. So outside of the chase bug, there's that random poll that has been popping up on the loading screen. People are like making memes around this poll now. It's kind of got ridiculous. Xenomorph is seeing dream palettes like he's Freddy. The Sadako has a PNG bug, so the skins look all messed up. Leatherface has this weird bug where he's like gets distorted sometimes. Dracula's had a lot of bugs for a while, but there's a new bug where you fly outside of the map. I don't know if you guys remember Bleak from my Mastering Dracula series, but it seems like for like the past year he's been tweeting about all these different bugs for Dracula that they haven't fixed. And that's the scary thing. Like the chase bug, they're gonna fix that. They're gonna get that taken care of. They probably have already fixed that by the time this video comes out. Like the poll, they can take that out pretty quick. I have full confidence that they're gonna fix all that stuff. But it's like these small killers like Dracula that have these bugs, and because they're not big enough or they only affect one killer, I feel like they just drag on forever. Like I just spent the last month dealing with the Sadako TV glitch where you see the arrows over the TV, and it was so annoying. And one other funny thing is people thought the voice actors for Rick and Michonne were like a bug. A lot of people are not happy with the voice actors, and I believe it was Scott Jund who even showed that there's one clip where someone's like in the background saying like, all right, yeah, that's a good take or something like that. So just funny stuff there, but what a disaster of a release. Yeah, I feel like we're just at a point where their coding is so intricate, and I'm not like a programming guy. I don't know anything about programming, but it seems like when they update one thing, it breaks like 20 other things. And I'm sure when they first developed the game, they weren't maybe planning on it becoming this big, but it's been around now for 9 years. The coding's got to be a mess, and it's just like these changes. You just like, I don't know if they cut the quality control team, but this is just, it's just an absolute disaster. And it's not just the bugs, it's what they added into the game, like the fog vials. I don't know a single person that likes the fog vials. The AoE effect is insane. It's like a massive cloud of smoke. There's a lot of maps that have like tall grass as well, so not only can you not see through the grass, it's just like, it's ridiculous. Like there's no tracking someone through tall grass in a fog vial. You're just done. The chase is over. And the fact that these recharge, like, I think I said it for sure, and I think a lot of people said it. I don't know. Maybe I was earlier on this than other people, but like the one thing that I thought was crazy is like a flashbang you have to craft. These just recharge, or even if it was like a one-time use, right? Let's say they're super powerful, you can get out of a chase, but you can only use it one time, and then you have to go to another tool chest and try to find it or something like that. I feel like that would be powerful, but the fact that you can just drop these every 60 seconds is insane. Some people have been getting audio bugs too, where it sounds like so muffled and so crazy, like you wouldn't be able to hear anything. So yeah, a lot of people aren't happy. Horser over on Twitter says fog vials are horrendous and need to be removed. AoE distortion, AoE quick and quiet. It's an instant chase end button with the eerie add-on, and it recharges an infinite amount of times. Azimov's made a tweet. I think that's how you say his name. I've watched his videos. I don't know if he's ever said his name, but he made a tweet on how he thinks fog vials could be improved. It was actually kind of a really cool idea about it being more clear in the center and almost like a ring around the survivor, so you can't just disappear in the cloud, but it's more as kind of like coverage. Maybe you want to like switch up the way you're going and trick the killer as he comes into the smoke. So, and in his concept, you can only use it 3 times maximum, and it has a 3-minute cooldown. So it's a lot more, I would say, realistic inside the balance of the game. But in its current state, it just seems busted. And you know what else is busted? Clown. The thing with Clown is, like, I don't know. Not a lot of people always played Clown or enjoy playing Clown because of the play style. But with this update, it seems like they've taken away the skill expression and they've just made him like incredibly brain dead. So like survivors don't even have a lot of good counters against him. With the new Clown, they've buffed his yellow bottle by a fair bit, so you can kind of almost spam it, so you're always having the haste boost from the yellow bottle. There's been people stacking with haste builds and getting like 27% haste, and both killer mains and survivor mains alike don't seem too happy with these changes. This post on Twitter says the new Clown is unironically the worst designed killer in the game by far. The fact that this not only made it through playtesting to be put in the PTB, but also made it through the PTB with buffs is genuinely fucking astounding. It's hard not to feel alarmed with their current design philosophy. Hens came out and said buffed Clown is way stronger, but incredibly one-dimensional and unhealthy for the game. Not a fan. So yeah, I think we could all acknowledge that Clown needed a little bit of love and maybe a change to make his playstyle a little more fun for both sides. But what we ended up getting, I do not think is even remotely close to the answer of what we needed. You know, spamming yellow bottles so you just get an insane amount of haste and you can just play around any loop and track down survivors is not how you want to play or win a game. And I guess I'm speaking for myself because I've said before in the past that you don't want survivors killing themselves on hook, and some killer mains were like, what are you talking about, dude? That's a free win. Let them kill themselves on hook. But at the end of the day, like, I don't queue up, especially with how the queue times had been recently, with like, I don't queue up in a 10-minute game just to end it quick. Like, I want that I want that competition. I want it to be a fun, intense game. So yeah, I just wonder what they were thinking with the whole Clown change. I feel like the bigger concern and why everyone is more concerned is like, what was the thought process here? Like, tuning up a killer's haste ability that much as a buff with even less like skill expression of like throwing the bottle at the correct angle and running through it in time and doing that in chases. Like, it makes you feel like they're erring more on the side of making it easier for beginners, which we want. But instead of making a killer like super dumbed down and super easy and super brainless, just make a tutorial. Just start spending your time making tutorials on the more complex killers. So I don't know. It seems to be a huge swing and a miss. Dead by Daylight seems like a complete dumpster fire lately, but what hasn't been crashing is this channel. We've actually been doing all right recently. So if you're enjoying the content so far, make sure to subscribe. Don't double think it, because I need my subscribers to have conviction, but I don't want my survivors I'm playing against to have the perk conviction. Look, here's the thing with conviction. You know, from the start, I felt like it was going to be problematic. A lot of people felt like it was going to be problematic. And I actually got a lot of pushback on that take. I don't really read TikTok comments. I'm going to be honest. I don't really go on my TikTok. Those comments are pretty, like, insane and unhinged sometimes. But people on TikTok are like, just don't slug, bro. Just pick up survivors. Boo-hoo. Killer needs to pick up a survivor. Wah. Stop crying. You don't want people complaining about every perk. I get it. New survivor perk comes out. Killers are pissed. You know, that song and dance has been done before. But the biggest issue is how quickly you can pick yourself up. And the whole thing of like, well, you still go down after like 30 seconds later. Well, in 30 seconds, you could have already ran off to a corner. You could have ran to a teammate. Like going back down isn't a huge issue. And you can just pair it with plot twist, which is incredibly powerful. So yeah, I was worried about it. And I'm clearly not the only one, because people have said it just feels so fast. Like you down somebody, you might go chase off a survivor who's gonna go for the flashlight save, and you turn around and the person's already picked themselves up and they're gone. And I'm not the only one who's upset about it. We got this post on Twitter: survivors are dumb as rocks thinking that conviction is okay. Yeah, take that, survivors, you idiots. So this post I thought was pretty funny. I love how the only arguments I've seen against conviction are just don't slug, just hook, just bait it out, people don't use this perk, skill issue, don't be toxic. When did leaving someone on the floor for 8 seconds become the equivalent of a war crime? Yeah, I think for the most part, people are just survived that conviction made it live through the PTB. Like, I personally was like, maybe I shouldn't jump on this train too quickly because it's not live yet. It will probably be changed a little bit more, but it's just like a quicker unbreakable. And if you're with a competent team, like it's not hard to get to someplace safe and then get healed up again. And like a lot of the second chance perk, it just buys you and your team a lot more time. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the current state of Dead by Daylight, but it could get even worse if Dead by Daylight loses another one of their licenses. I talk about that in this video right here.